Episode 35 of Ascendance of a Bookworm. That got me super emotional. I did get teary-eyed for this episode. Very, very impactful episode. And I guess I should have assumed at this point that eventually there was going to come a time where Myne was going to have her hand pretty much forced. Like, she was going to be forced to have to change what the current happening is. There's a turning point that she is going to face that she can no longer look away from essentially what she's going to have to do. She's obviously in a very unique position, and something is eventually going to force her hand. She's going to have to change how she's living. She can't continue this life. She can't continue two lives, essentially. And that's the unfortunate thing, is it's really this episode is a point in which she can no longer have what she once was. She's no longer normal, and that really does suck. Just the Gunther breaking down and really saying, no, don't do this. It's like... It freaking hurt. It hurts so bad. The tough father figure being emotional is just you can't avoid the tears. But crazy episode, absolutely crazy episode. I was being warned that these following two episodes are going to be a changing time. Like, something significant is going to happen, and sure enough, yes. Sure enough. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, opening up, we have obviously Myne and Tootie is captured. Like, I seen the pendant title from the previous episode. The previous episode had the title card for the next episode, and it was the pendant. And I'm like, okay, so that just means that Sylvester's gonna come and save them. But no, Dad showed up. That was great though. I really did like the idea of Dad showing up and saving both his daughters rather than it being Sylvester. But yeah, Gunther showing up, tackling them both. Tootie still being captured. That setting off Myne was fantastic. What are you doing? Get your dirty hands off my sister. It was so good. I was a little bit mad. I was a little mad at the chase scene because Oto's just standing there. Like, Oto's like, huh? Like Myne gets captured, Tootie gets captured, they're running off, and Gunther shows up and he runs after them, and Oto's just standing there. Like, I used to like Oto a lot, but that was like, wait, is he really not gonna help? It hurt. But granted, he's a commoner. Now, granted, Gunther is a commoner too, and he ran, but that's his daughters. But Oto, like, what is he gonna do? Unfortunately, I don't know. It just sucked. I don't know if that was just portrayed badly compared to the light novel. But Oto, you came down on my list. I used to like you with your interactions with Myne, but that aside, yes, I liked Gunther saving them. Loved Myne's being really angry, and yeah, she looks over and is like, is this a bad situation? Should I? Okay, so it is. All right, so picks up the pendant, puts the blood on it, and calls to Sylvester, who never shows up. Now, we kind of get an idea by the end of the episode what the pendant actually means, which I think is completely out of left field. This is a really cool shift in essentially what the writer's doing. Something I never really expected. I just assume 2 years, she will be adopted by Karts, and that's her future. I never had the expectation that instead, she would essentially be adopted by Sylvester. That was really shocking to me. Like I said, completely out of left field. But still, claiming that if you put your blood smear on this, I will show up and save you. It's like Myne said, you liar. He never showed up. Like, he never showed up. Like, even at the later part, when everything is just going to heck, I'm like, where's Sylvester? Like, when Ferdinand said that Myne was going to be in trouble, like, your family's going to be punished, I, at that point, was thinking, oh, Sylvester's going to show up and save the situation. Like, he's going to show up, he's going to be special somehow, and it's going to clear everybody's name, or he's just going to show up and erase the problem, which is, again, the High Priest and Bindewald. But, no, anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself again. But yeah, additionally, Delia showing up and saying, oh, by the way, Dirk's new father's here, wants to meet Myne. And yeah, even though they tried to hide, eventually they get caught by the High Priest and Bindewald. And that's when he says, yeah, you're coming with me. No ifs, ands, or buts. Well, the contract requires two sides. Don't care, that's part of the contract. I lost all these devours, and so you're going to fix the situation, so you're coming with me. Sign the contract. And this turns into a whole big fight, and eventually they are trying to force her to sign this, which, that's a very curious thing. I seriously thought because it is magic based that the contract requires both sides being consenting, which I guess that makes sense because if somebody was a devouring or something like that and was contracted by a noble, they probably aren't okay with it. I don't know that all these people are okay with being basically took under the thumb of a noble to be their mana battery. So maybe, yes, maybe they could technically force Myne to make a contract. But again, that was my mindset, was that it would require both sides to agree to it. Not that you could, because I mean, if that's the case, then somebody can essentially go into the commoner's area, find somebody that has something they want, and force them to sign a contract. It takes away that aspect that I thought the contracts were like these binding things of agreement that both sides are forced to go through with. But instead it turns into something where it's just literally a thing that can force something. And it doesn't always have to be agreed upon, which I think is really interesting to... Now, granted, it could be that they were trying to force her to do it and it would never have happened. But the assumption here is based on the fact that these people would know what this contract does and would be willing to force it. And if that's the case, that changes my entire perspective of the contract system, the blood contract system they're doing. And I forgot to get into it, but yes, this is all happening because the high priest believes that Ferdinand is gone. Apparently, we find out later that Ferdinand kind of tricked everybody into thinking that he was gone. But the high priest is doing this because he knows Ferdinand's gone, and he's turning a blind eye to Bindewald basically kidnapping Myne. Like, go ahead. I want her out of my way. And that was, really terrible for Delia because she thought that Dirk was going to go with this guy. They're going to be a big, happy family. And he's like, no, you're basically, he's becoming a mana battery. But this was weird because when Delia's like, wait, no, this wasn't what we decided on, the high priest says specifically, oh, it's fine. The child will come with me. Myne will go with him. So I don't know if it was maybe because the original agreement was that if he can't get Myne, he'll have Dirk. But if he takes Myne, then the high priest will get the Dirk. We'll get Dirk. That was it. Or that he just expects that Bindewald's going to take Dirk and that he's going to use Dirk later. Like he's just holding on to him. It was I don't know. It was just very weirdly worded at this particular point. But that doesn't matter at this point, honestly. Yeah, I did like the fact that the high priest tried to use that black orb, and I kind of expected that was going to be the case. She's going to fill it up until it blows up, and he's like, wait, how much mana do you actually have? There was a side of me that was hoping that it was just going to glow into the point where it's just going to explode on him, and then goodbye, high priest. I don't know if this story wants to get that violent. I keep forgetting parts. No, before this, he used Dirk as a weapon. He's just holding his child up and going, pew, pew, pew. I was like, oh, that's so terrible. Again, but I'm glad that we're at least Delia finally sees how nasty the high priest is. It's like, it's so uncomfortable to watch. Using this child as a weapon drains his mana like really quickly. The child's literally passing out. It was very hard to watch, but at the same time, Delia's finally seeing just how nasty these people are. And again, I hate that she has to learn this lesson this way, but it's like, I hope that this is the end of Delia being so wishy-washy, that she's seeking so badly to be with these such disgusting beings that she'll finally realize that she's better off staying with Myne. Like, I hope after this whole situation, it's like, Myne, please take me back. I don't want to do this anymore. It was also interesting that he's fighting and Damien shows up and blocks the magic, and he's like, wait, I was never told this guy would be with them. Where did he come from? And Delia's like, I've been telling you. Like, all this crap that she's been telling him never gets a bit of it. Even the point where, like, Delia's been doing her job. She's been doing her job, just... I guess, thankfully, High Priest never heard any of it. I think the other part that was, like, super unsettling this episode was what Yenny said, that she captures Myne and then walks forward and says, I've always been the flower giver. While everybody else, while Wilma and Rosina are having so much fun now, she's still doing what she's always done. And, yeah, it hurt. But yes, anyways, Ferdinand shows up. That's when things really... I mean, it was already building up this idea that fighting against the High Priest and Bindewald, and then... But Myne was keeping the situation kind of in check. And then when Ferdinand shows up, it kind of just turns really south. Like, Ferdinand showing up, realizing he knows what's going on. He knows exactly what the High Priest is doing. But still, because of the systems they have in play, Myne's in the wrong. And Myne's family and herself, everybody is going to be punished. Her retainers, everybody is going to get punished for her raising her arm against them. Again, in this society, she should have just gone with them. And that's the sad thing. She's a commoner. The noble said he wants this, go with them. There was no question, even though we don't like it. And after she apologized to her father, and he's like, no, don't worry about it. I was expecting this. I was willing to give up my life the moment that you went to the cathedral. She pulls out the pendant. She's like, Sylvester, you liar. You said that you'd come and protect me. And that's when Ferdinand notices it. Wait, where'd you get that from? Oh, Sylvester gave it to me after the festival. Well, we can change this. If you become the daughter of Sylvester, that fixes everything. And that's the thing that clicked for me. It's like, okay, yeah, this entire time, where's Sylvester? The whole purpose of this pendant, my expectation was blood seal on it, poof, he teleports there. No, literally, it seems like Sylvester never really had planned on coming there. That it's like some kind of family crest or something like that. And the whole purpose of her putting her blood seal on it was to become his daughter, to become his adopted daughter. But this is the crushing part, obviously. Like, Ferdinand's like, look, it's not going to be in 2 years. It's now. Like, right now, you're going to be his daughter. And that's the only way this situation is going to get fixed. Because then she is the daughter of Sylvester, who seemingly is a high noble of some sort. And so at that point, it becomes a foreign noble is attacking this Doname's noble daughter, and that's the game changer. And that's all Ferdinand needs. So the moment she agrees to it, despite the fact that her father is getting really upset, no, don't do this. You can't leave immediately. You can't do this. Like, he wasn't ready. He was, again, like Myne, expecting this is 2 years out. We still have time to be together. But no, this is the point where she takes his hand and removes it from her. So it's like, it hurt. It hurt so bad. I was super crushed. It hurt a lot. Just that's the symbolism there. It's over. This is the only way everybody's gonna be happy. She has no choice. This is her hand being forced. This is my new life, and I can no longer look back. And yes, that's all Ferdinand needs. Like, here's this ring. Protect everybody. He's going crazy. Binds up High Priest, which shocks Bindewal, which we all know he's a part of this Royal Academy. And then yeah, all hell's breaking loose in that hallway. And unfortunately ends right there. It's like, no, we can't stop here. Yeah, this is huge. Like I said, somebody kind of warned me that there's a huge story change here, and that's it right there. Because now Myne is a noble. She's now the daughter of Sylvester. She's no longer the daughter of her family. She's no longer the sister of now she's always, let's be honest. But by right, everything she once had, she's leaving behind. Now, I'll be very curious beyond this point how this is going to shift. This is a huge changing point. Technically, she can go back to her home. I mean, there's no reason why she can't, but her life now is on the other side of the cathedral. It is now in the nobles. Like, what is beyond this point? Is she even going to be able to go see her mother again is the big question mark. I mean, she could probably travel there, but she's a noble now. No turning back. I guess my curiosity at this point is just how much this will change Myne. Is her new status going to completely change her entire life, or is the writer going to have her still dabble in things? Is she still going to visit the orphanage? Is she still going to visit her home? Is she still going to visit Gilberto Company? Is she still going to do everything she's been doing before, or is her new life going to really rip her from the roots of her previous life? But we're curious that. I think the next episode is going to be... I honestly, I think the next episode is going to be kind of a lot of dust settling, and I think a lot of people really establishing that Myne's new life is different. Obviously, probably taking the High Priest before the Lord. Hopefully the Lord finally shows back up in the next episode, like, please. But obviously, some punishment being laid down. And I don't know that Count Bindewal is going to leave alive. I think he's obviously going to be executed. If the knight that attacked Myne was executed, this guy should be executed. Yeah. Like I said, though, absolutely fantastic episode. I very emotional, very action-packed, some great animation, by the way. Just a phenomenal episode. I'm absolutely dreading that the next episode is the last episode, and I do hope that this continues on. I really do hope that they get an announcement for another season immediately after the next episode. I'm hoping what I'm hearing is true, that this is most likely that it could possibly get another season. I'm holding hope. I really am, because I cannot get it. I definitely at this point after this episode, I was already kind of thinking of waiting for a sale and then buying the novels. At this point, I'm sold on it. Like, I am definitely going to be checking out the novels of this series. I technically can get review copies for this series, and I might just do that. But I definitely will be buying it, because this show is so good. The story is so good, and it just keeps getting better, and I cannot wait for more. But anyways, I gotta stop because I can keep gushing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what you thought of the episode, subscribe if you have not already, share this video if you can, support us on Patreon, or throw a tips link in the description below. We also have a super thanks button if you appreciate the work that we do. We definitely love your support, and y'all take care.